overload ones for big guys. I discovered that, because I have to get a new one in my office every year, because eventually they all go to the floor.
True story.
Okay.
I discovered this,
Meeting?
because I'm overloading the mechanism.
We'll call the meeting for March 13th, 2019 to order. First thing we'll do is the manifest. And the manifest is for $210.96. Upton and Hatfield, Southern Hampshire Planning, and Jane Bouchar's timesheet.
I'll move to approve the manifest.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're all set there.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Mhm.
this is conceptual, so we can start.
Yeah, it's no, yeah,
This is Scott Frankowitz. He is representing Mr. Cole on the McCarran subdivision. I know Scott because I built one of his roads. Take it away, Scott.
So, in December, Kevin contacted us after receiving the letters from the town and from DES. So I untangled the mess as much as I could. We've transferred the ownership of the permit and got that recorded at the registry. That was the two conditions of DES.
Okay,
So the permit's been transferred to Allen Cohen Development and recorded at the registry, and I believe it's been provided to the town. Copies
Did you
of
get
those
that yet?
recorded.
I don't think so. I didn't get it.
okay.
I do have copies of that. I
All right.
can give you. And he has hired Mark West, which I got an email from him, and I think it was sent to the town as well, saying, just stating that he was hired.
Oh, I didn't see that either, but.
Well,
I don't
I
get a
saw it
lot of
on one
stuff.
of the letters that he said that he
Oh,
was.
maybe.
But I asked Mark to send a,
Oh, okay, so you actually asked him to send something as well.
saying that he was hired.
Okay.
And we have submitted a request to David Price at DES for timelines, to try to set up a timeline for when the restoration plan would be due and when the
Okay,
actual implementation of it would be due. I got copies of those three.
okay.
Okay,
I don't know what you keep.
Copies of each.
yeah, I'll make copies for
Here,
everybody.
I'll just give you all this stuff right here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't-
So that right now is under review by DES. If
Okay.
they agree with the timelines that we submitted or not.
Okay.
Okay.
I met with Steve Keith. and
Yeah.
Jeff.
I had talked to Steve, at least 2 to 3 weeks ago, and he said that he had, it.
A
no,
while ago, I had met with
yeah,
him.
Steve.
I just wanted to get the whole picture. and
right,
I think I understand everything now, and with Mark and ourselves on board, I think once the snow's gone, we can get, Mark will go out, flag the impact, and
mm-hmm,
we'll locate it, and we'll come up with a plan to restore it. One of the conditions on DES was about a conservation easement being recorded. That really, I assume it can't be recorded until the plan is recorded.
correct.
And the plan wasn't recorded because he chose to build the road instead of.
It's not even approved.
You see, that's the problem
Yeah,
now.
it was conditionally
It was
approved.
conditionally
Right.
approved, plus he never put up a bond.
Right, well, what?
What was Kevin's reasoning?
Well, the reasoning is that's why Steve Keith allows it, is whether, it was conditionally approved and it was extended, and
Uh-huh.
then Kevin was, and this is from his mouth, is that because he started building the road, he didn't think he had to ask for another extension this past January, or it would have been last January, or whenever that.
Yeah, it
extension
expired on the 17th, in 2017, so it's
Yeah,
been 2
see,
years
The thing is, I
now.
was reading through the notes, and it said that he said
Yeah,
that he was
17.
gonna build the road in 9 weeks.
That was, yeah.
So if he would have done what you just said, you wouldn't be here.
Right, right.
So because he didn't do what he said, that's why we're here.
Right.
So the big thing now is that, you know, before we can even really move forward about anything, until you guys, not you, until Mr. Cole can fix all his issues, you know, we're not gonna approve anything. Because,
Approve anything as in what?
as in like,
The
any sort of
It would have to be
extension or
reinstated.
anything. You know, it has to be reinstated, which
Right.
we can do.
Right.
Because I was just talking to Cam from Southern New Hampshire Planning Board about it. It's not that it can't be done. That's not the issue. But Fred, who's not here, you know, the whole reason DES got involved is because Fred works at DES. And because he works there, he has to report it. You know, just like when the guys come out to Milford, the leach field inspector he told us right up front, he said, I'm supposed to look for any problems.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and Fred is in a whole different ballgame at DES, so he goes, Pete, I gotta report this, you know, so that's how that all happened. And even then, one of the whole reasons that it was brought to our attention is that an abutter came to one of the meetings to complain about what was going on. And because he just was wondering when the whole thing was gonna be done, so, you know, I drove up there and I had talked to Kevin a few times myself on the phone and told him, I said, Kevin, you know, you got some stuff you gotta take care of here, and, well, here we are,
Yeah.
okay?
So what I'm gathering is he'd have to fix it before you,
Yeah, I
Even
mean-
considered it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I mean, it's a tough situation, I think, for everybody, because when I talk with Steve, obviously, he's like, there's really two options. Kevin finishes it, or the town takes it over and finishes it. There's really, you know, that's kind of where we're at, and Kevin says he's gonna finish it and move it, but the conditional approval, I don't, it's a weird situation where.
yeah, well, see, the whole thing comes down to is that, I mean, he didn't hold his end of the deal up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the problem is, like, when we first went and talked to him, our first letter was from August.
Yeah,
So there was still plenty of time
oh, yeah,
when we first talked to him about remedying the situation. Okay? I mean, you must have read some of Jeff Quirk's notes.
Yeah, and I read all the minutes from the meeting.
Yeah, so you read some of the things.
Yeah,
Well, he was the same way with me on the phone, you know, like, well, if you know what you're doing, okay? So once he said that, I just said, you know what, Kevin, you got a lot of problems here, you better fix them, okay? The day that Fred and I went there, it was one of those nice rainy days that we had last fall. And it was a mess.
yeah,
You know, not like that I'm perfect by any stretch, but he's not making a genuine effort.
yeah.
And he's choosing to be combative, that's the other thing. I don't know
He
where he's at
didn't
now.
even show up, did he?
Well, the thing is, we'd asked him,
He hasn't shown up in 6
to meet
months.
there,
Yeah, I
and he
know.
didn't even
Didn't
show
show
up,
up,
and then
so-
he sends a friend, no, it was a girl.
It was a woman.
Oh, it was a woman, I don't know who it is, I forget. And she said, you know, he had a family issue or something he had to take care of.
Okay.
And then I said to her, I said, well, could you let him know to come by and see us at the planning board, you know?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think it's only, he's got a lot of invested in this. I would think that he would want to be here, okay? Because, you know, when I screw up, I gotta go.
The music.
Yeah, face the music, that's exactly what I was thinking. And, you know, I mean, it way before you even got involved with this, before I even got on the board, this whole plan was extremely confrontational. Rick would know, Jane knows, because there was a lot of people that just didn't want the thing to happen, period. Okay? So, you know, it took a long time to get it approved. By the time it got approved, she missed the boat on all the development. That's why the thing got continuously extended, because nothing was happening. You know, we had a, 7 or 8 year period where basically nothing was happening around Deerfield, very little.
Yeah.
You know,
And
Rick
she-
knows because he's the one that deals with all the permits.
And she was trying to sell it, and she couldn't get any buyers,
Oh,
and
it
so,
just was a nightmare.
so the planning board just kept
get-
giving her and continuance on the premise that she would eventually sell it or find someone that would be willing to build
build it.
the project and do it.
So,
And Kevin turned out to be that person.
so I mean, I understand where he's coming from right now, you know, there's snow on the ground and stuff like this, but he'd be better off if you get out there before it all melted. He could've got out there with a mini and cleaned up the woods a lot quicker, because it's gonna be a mess. Because I was on a job where we had to go down with buckets and do it. It wasn't even our mess, but we got paid to do it. And, so you guys are coming up with a plan, so he can't do anything until the state approves a plan, right?
Right.
So he's kind of at a standstill because until the state says he can do it, he can't do anything.
Right.
So, realistically, when do you think you'll have a plan to the state?
Well, what we proposed was to have a plan approved by May 30th.
Okay.
Completely approved, and then implemented, obviously during the construction when he's out there working after that. They haven't approved that timeline yet, but that's what was submitted to David.
Yeah, I mean, it's all gonna depend on how this spring goes. I mean, you know, if we get 6 weeks of rain,
It's gonna be 60 and plus from now on.
right, yeah, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna get, you know, rain just like we did last fall, which would be another nightmare.
And then if that does happen, and, I mean, he's gonna have to, David's gonna be inspecting it. and
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, because I had talked to him,
Short leash.
I talked to him twice, myself, on the phone, and he had told me that Mr. Cole went and met him. So, which was encouraging.
Yeah, I met with David.
Well, I talked to David on the phone. He said at least either he had talked to him on the phone or he met him on site. I don't know. But that was back, I would say that was in January or end of December.
Yeah, it was late December when he called us, so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, then that's probably when it was December, because I talked to David Price twice. He had called me because of the letter we sent and wanted information on how to get a hold of Mr. Cole. And, we went from there. I guess the way I look at it, Scott, is that, you guys gotta do what you gotta do right now with the state, which we're out of the loop on that one, in one sense. You know, and I think that we need to see that plan when you guys get it all set, and, you know, how Mr. Cole is gonna do it, and, you know, David Price will, you know, we can call him, or he can send us a letter and say, yep, this is what they're gonna do, and I'm in charge, or, I'm assuming if you said he's gonna inspect it, he's the one that's in charge.
Yeah, he's the one the only contact I've had with.
Okay, so it would sound like he's the one that's gonna be
Yeah.
doing it, because, I know he's got some different people working for him now, because I just did a job for Boston Sand on their, one of their places in Ossipee, and he was the guy that normally took care of their stuff, but there was somebody different this time.
They are hiring a bunch of people.
Yeah, so whoever it is probably gonna report directly to him if it's not him. So you're figuring that you'll have a plan to them, and you're gonna shoot for,
Yeah, we put down May 30th as the latest.
Yeah.
For approval of a plan.
okay. Do you,
If snow goes earlier and we get out there, because we have to be able to see and have.
yeah, no, I know that. You can't, you know, you can't just say, okay, this is it. Yeah, I know that. I mean, I have pictures of what it looks like.
Yeah,
And I know he had called into question why Fred and I were there. The RSA's allow us to be there. You know, like I said, when I initially talked to him, you know, he said he was gonna do stuff, but, you know. So I mean, the big thing at this point is that, you know, I know Fred specifically is gonna wanna see stuff, you know. Greg's an engineer as well. Well, you know what I do. So, I guess as soon as you guys have a plan, and David has it, get it submitted to us.
yeah.
And we can, you know, based on issues that we've talked about, I mean, I know pretty much everybody's gonna wanna see what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, you know, he said that he's gonna do a lot of things. I've read through the notes. I've talked to Steve. I've talked to Jeff. You know, they don't certainly, appreciate recusals against them about what's going on. We want to move past that, obviously, and just get it fixed. That's the goal. Let's just get it done. And, once you got a plan, give it to us, and schedule, something again with us and we'll talk. I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, obviously we gotta move forward one way or another.
It'd be nice if he could be here at that point.
It would be better if he was here,
Yeah,
okay? Because,
yeah, you're supposed to send this,
Ye-
but it is.
I know. It just would be better if he was here, okay? The owners of the project initially, they sat through every meeting and listened to everything. And,
Well, he was on the board, wasn't he?
who, Bill? Yeah, he had
Yeah,
to, he had to recuse himself
He
all the
did
time.
recuse himself, yeah.
And,
Mr.
but his
Cole.
wife was here the whole time, because it was from her family where the land had come from originally. So, but, like I said, go ahead and get the plan ready.
Attorney Lapointe has made it clear in his letters that Mr. Cole will not attend.
That's fine.
So he's
I'm just
you'll
saying,
see the
His
letters
choice,
that
I
they-
mean.
yeah.
we can't make him do anything.
No, but
We
he's
can't
made
make him
that,
do anything. We're just saying it would be better if he came.
but he's made it clear.
Okay, well,
Mr.
that's-
Cole will not attend.
Okay, well, that's fine. We can ask. Doesn't mean he's gonna say yes. So, I think at this point, let's just, go ahead and get the plan going, because it's gotta be done no matter what. It doesn't matter what we say.
Right.
I mean, even the state wouldn't allow us to allow him to do anything else until that was remedied. So, and like I said, Fred certainly wants to be here. He's got some questions and stuff that he wants to ask. Like I said, we were both there on a day, and, I know what it's like to try to stop water. It doesn't work, and you certainly can't do it with one guy. But as soon as you guys get your plan, I would imagine that Mr. West knows what he's doing. He's gonna get it done pretty quick. And once you can get out there with a gun and shoot it and flag it and get it all to him, it's not gonna take David very long to say, go.
Right.
So, as soon as you get the plan, give us a call and, and
And then at that point, you come in and try, about the conditional approval. How
Yeah.
do you-
we're gonna, like I said, once everybody's here on the board that is involved with this, and like I said, Fred was here from the beginning on this project, all the way.
Yeah.
And, he knows way more about it. I know it, I've been on the site, I know the people that owned it, but, I didn't really have anything to do with it. They just, like Rick said, they had a hard time with it because it just fell into the doldrums when everything tanked as far as building goes,
I do have a question, just on not necessarily on this one, but on the town allows you to build up on the road.
Yeah.
You're one of the only towns that I've run into that actually allow you, because then you don't record the plan.
And it's bit the town a couple times.
Like that, yeah.
Not that big, but just,
The developer's taking a huge chance by not recording the plan. They should, I would, my money on the line, I would have recorded that plan.
But,
That bond somehow.
yeah,
but it's a small site plan, it's,
That's part of the problem. I think for the most part, the town's somewhat reasonable, and yet
people
nothing
take
has,
advantage of it.
nothing has happened.
yeah.
Bottom line now, he needs to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
And I think the board is open to accepting whatever timelines you set, but they gotta be realistic timelines, and he's gotta be able,
Accountable.
yeah, and he's gotta be able to follow through on them, unless it's extenuating circumstances. And let's face it, again, water is a tough one. Other than water, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to maintain his timeline.
Are you guys gonna incorporate the installation of the main finished, the final culvert on the restoration?
Was it box culvert?
No, they got rid of the box.
I would imagine it would be, well, he says that date of, I think it was August 30th, we put on there for final, it would be everything done. That would be the complete project.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, in order so he doesn't have to worry about trying to fix the wetlands, but not have the permanent culvert in, because as soon as he screws up the water again, he's gonna
So.
You know,
yeah, that's all
it's
we-
not deep enough, you can't put a turbidity curtain up. You know,
At
so I
least
mean,
up to base coat or something like that.
well, no, I'm just saying, if he gets the actual culvert in, and he gets the wing walls in, and he's got subgrade over it,
Yeah.
that's gonna be stabilized right there, because in order to get that far, he's gotta get all that stuff done, and then it's just a matter of keeping the water going where he wants it, you know? Like that retention pond you made, designed on the job we have, that if that thing wasn't there, we'd be dead, you know? You know, it's, I mean, it's not on the plan now, but it almost would have helped him if he dug a big retention pond on both sides of the brook, because it would have allowed the water to get in and settle a little bit before it took off. But, I mean, that's not his fault, I'm just saying. Yeah, so I mean, as soon as, you know, because if he gets the culvert in, he'll have it lit, pretty much. Because that's basically what caused him the problems, because if he'd had all that subgrade in, it would have been so much easier for him to keep it clean. You know, I guarantee when you get 6 inches of rain in 2 hours, it doesn't matter where you are. I have a video of Niagara Falls out there. We got one of those, the 6 inches of rain in Milford? The guys videotaped the water coming off the big ledge cut.
Edge out there.
Yeah. You probably never saw it, but I showed it to John. He says, now that's what people should call me about when they say water problem, and not a little, you know, drip around the pipe, you know? But, yeah, just get the plan squared away, talk to David, you know, have him, you know, contact us, and like I said, once we're all here and everybody's all situated and we know, you know, we're all heading on the same page, you know, because like I said, tonight, things are kind of, you know, kind of messed up, but even still, I mean, he's got to get some stuff going up there anyway. I mean, right now, his priority is the state. He's got to take care of them first, you know? And then, once we see that he's got that squared away, then we can sit down and talk. You know, I mean, there's nothing said no, we just gotta, we've got to see some progress, because Rick's right, he's, you know, he's seen what's going on, he knows what's going around, and,
So what's the process to lift that, once the state approved the restoration plan, to lift this cease and desist?
well, I think the first thing we're gonna want to see is all that work done.
But the cease and desist has to be lifted before the work can be done, somehow that has to.
Well, that would supersede, the state's work would supersede the
Cease and desist.
cease and desist, because he has to do that,
Yeah, I would say,
Okay,
okay?
so once the state says, yeah, this plan is what you gotta do, get out there and do it.
once the state says this is what's gotta be done, and he comes up with the timeline, he's gonna get started on that, obviously, yeah, I'll lift the cease and desist
Yeah,
with the understanding he follows through on this timeline and what the state has outlined.
Yeah, and
Obviously,
that's-
that can't work.
Yeah,
if
no,
he's
yeah,
got a
you
cease
can't
and
tell them
desist.
cease and desist and say, well, you gotta get it done somehow, no, I mean, that's foolishness. But, I mean,
yeah, I was just wondering what the process would be, it would be to find out.
well, the thing is that if the cease and desist will be lifted for him to do the work
Mitigation, and then as far as
that the
subdivision.
state is requiring, and like, you know, personally, I would like to see the culvert in. You know, I don't know what David has decided. He might want that in as well, because then he would know that it's more stabilized. And then that's when we'll take it from there about reinstating the project, you know? That's the way we want to head, that way, you know? If he gets in there and gets it done, it shouldn't take that long. I mean, 2 weeks, worst case. I mean, get some guys in there and get going. You know, he's gonna have approval to get in the wetlands with a machine and clean it out, because they're gonna grant it to him. And then once he gets in with a mini excavator or whatever he's gonna use, that the state approves, it shouldn't take him that long to clean it out, you know? And then, you know, get the, like I said, it would be good to
The only thing
see.
I would caution him on is, once he's done and resolved the state, and they're all happy, he needs to come back here and resolve the rest. We need to go through whatever the rest of our issues is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not giving him carte blanche to
Yeah.
just keep right on going with the
Right,
project.
that's my whole point
Because
that
I
I'm
looked
driving
at
at.
this.
I wanna see the culvert in before we go any further. Because, you know, he said he was gonna do it 2 years ago, okay? I mean, it needs to go in. You know, they really need to get that in so he can get down in there and do it right, you know? I mean, who knows what we're gonna get for weather, that damn thing could wash out, you know? So, yeah, as soon as he can get going on it and you guys get the plan and the state approves the plan and he can get in and start working,
Talk to you guys.
yeah. Yeah, because then once we see him getting that squared away, it's gonna make us, everybody here, a little bit happier to see something happening, you know? And then we can work with him and go from there. But, you know, like I said, like Greg has stated, at this point, he has no approval.
No, it's lapsed.
It's gone.
So as far as,
And-
yeah.
And you need to let him know right now, he has no approval.
Yeah.
But,
So his cooperation is his currency, pretty much. You
know.
know, and up until now, he hasn't cooperated.
you know, he's gotta do what he's gotta do. That's why he hired you. And you know that, you know, I mean, I got too many of my own things to worry about. So,
And I don't like pissed off neighbors calling me.
Yeah.
Isn't there a state rep or something that lives
Yes.
in there?
Yes.
One of those there too.
He's been
so.
in here.
And he's pretty
well, he
feisty.
was the one that originally,
Yeah, he's
he was the one that came in and filed the complaint, which
Yeah.
got us down there to see what was going on.
Yeah, he originated, you're right.
You know? So, you know, let's
Yeah.
get the plan and we'll go from there. You know, because, like you said, you could have the plan ready right now. He isn't gonna be able to do anything.
Right.
But the big thing is David needs to okay it, and then you're on your way. Once he okays it, then you can say, okay, we're gonna get in there as soon as we can. And then, you know,
But you've got to okay condition the approval.
well, no, the
Otherwise-
state has to,
Oh, yeah.
that stuff has to
But
be done
bef-
for anything.
But before he proceeds with work, don't you have to approve, conditional approval? I thought that was
No.
stated before.
No, he needs to get the state work done before we can do anything else.
Okay, I misunderstood, but that's what I understood, that,
You mean before before we could vote on extending the conditional approval?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
has to have the state work done. right?
yeah, yeah, but you have to vote on extending
It
it
has to
too.
be, it's a vote,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy for him to continue working until this board.
Yes.
Right, but he, no matter what, before we can do anything,
Oh,
he
no,
has
I
to
know that.
accomplish
No,
the
I
state
know
work.
that.
That's, once we get to there, then we're at ground zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to start, he may have to start all over again, apply, reapply for, you know.
Well, you know, if things can move along better, then we can see what happens, but at this point, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then once the weather turns, then he can start doing something.
Yeah, the hope is not to have to reapply for a full.
Well, that's
He
been
should
mentioned.
think about that then. He
That's
should
been
consider that.
mentioned.
Well,
Yeah.
I know he doesn't want to, and he's saying that the
I don't
town's
want that.
supposed to notify him, but there is no RSA that says we have to notify him.
Only for approved subdivision. Approved and recorded, and it's neither.
Yeah, this
So-
is, and it's lapsed, and
Let's,
that's the big thing.
Let's hope he can get going and get it fixed and we can get moving ahead. That's all we want to do. You know, I don't like saying no to anybody about anything, you know. But he's got some other people right now that have way more power than we do, you know, so, I mean, how long is it gonna take you to do your layout for him? Day or two?
Yeah, it won't take long for us to go out. I mean, Mark has to get out there and flag the impact, and then we'll go out and locate it.
Yeah,
Get it on plan, Mark will do
what he's gotta do.
what he's gonna do.
Yeah, so it isn't gonna take you guys very long. Probably take David longer to take a look at it,
Probably.
you know, so, all right. Thanks, Scott.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you.
Thank you.
Jane had mentioned to me one thing. Fred knows more about it. I hadn't, I don't know if you took a drive over there at all, Greg, about Tebow's
Tier,
Tierra subdivision.
Yeah.
Did you ever take a look at that?
2 months ago.
Okay.
In regards to bounds,
No, there was some runoff and stuff that Fred
Yeah.
wanted fixed.
I gave everybody a
oh,
letter.
we talked about that, yeah. I was there probably 2 months ago. when-
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Jeff Cork did, I've been getting correspondence from,
He did an
Tebow.
inspection and forgot to send it. He
Forget
just sent it to
send the
me.
approval, he just did.
Mm-hmm.
He says everything's been okayed, but I had it on the agenda for tonight, but obviously, as Pete said, Fred
You know,
was the
Fred
one that
was
initially
the one that
made the.
was there, so,
Mm.
you know, and I never looked at it, so I don't know Fred probably has a better idea what was not done or done or whatever. So I think we should just wait till Fred comes back, which is 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll keep it on the
Keep
agenda.
it on the agenda, and, in 2 weeks, we have,
I think it's that, where the drainage way and the culvert goes under the road.
something about that, yeah.
Yeah, if you go about halfway down, basically the field there,
Yeah,
the field seems to drain to one spot
yeah,
and keeps
Washing.
washing that banking.
yeah,
They've actually fixed it a couple of times and reseeded it and
Yeah.
so forth, and last time they put quite a bit of stone there and loomed it and seeded it, but we keep getting these torrential rains, and
it doesn't get a chance to stabilize,
yeah, it doesn't grow. It gets washed away again.
yeah.
And I believe that's his issue, and all I can say is I drive by enough there that they have fixed it a few times. They have made attempts, actually, right now, I think it's all right, but,
Yeah, well, Jeff did confirm that it was okay, but again, he apologized, he said, I did not
right
send
now it
this.
appears okay, and hopefully
We'll
as
see
soon
what
as,
happens in April, March,
as soon
April,
as
May.
the weather
Yeah.
breaks a little bit, hopefully something will start to
Yeah.
grow, so it does stabilize.
All right.
So as I said, I'll keep it on the agenda till next meeting. You have, of course, Rollins is
Yeah,
coming in.
Rollins is coming in, but there's nobody else, right?
Yes,
So-
no, you have a subdivision. Sid Morris is doing a subdivision.
Okay,
So you have 2 appointments for next meeting.
Yeah, they're breaking the farmhouse off from the big piece, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
okay. Anything else?
No.
Just trying to think if there's something else.
Well, it's one of you two guys has to make a motion.
I'm motion adjourned.
Okay.
That's the second?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a second.
All those in favor?
Okay.
What was, so last week, last meeting was,